Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a 2025 book review video. I'm not too sure I'm going to title it yet. Basically, I'm going to be going through the 10 books that I read this year and telling you my thoughts on them, how I feel, if you should read them or not. This video is not going to contain any spoilers. I'm going to try to completely avoid telling you the plot. I'm going to tell you the plot. I'm not going to provide too many spoilers, and if I do, I will put a warning, so don't worry about spoilers. I thought I'd go through my little ranking system first. So basically, I'm gonna rank it out of 10, and I have 3 different categories that can get those points. So the first category is enjoyment, and that's just like if I had fun reading it or not, or if I thought it was a good book, and like I kept picking it up. So for enjoyment, it's gonna be out of 4 points, because I do think that your enjoyment is kind of like the most important part of how you rank the book over like the plot and the word choice, which are the other 2 categories. So plot is out of 3 points, because it is important, but I don't think it's as important as how much you enjoy the book in terms of a personal ranking. That's just going to be like how good you thought the plot was, and if it like kept you interested in the book. And then the third one is the writing / word choice. It's kind of like a weird category. That's also out of 3 points. It's just like how good I thought the writing was and how I thought it served the purpose of the book. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to get straight into it. The first book I read this year, well, they're not in order, but the first book I'm showing you is All the Right Places. This book is basically about, it's like a romance between Finch and Violet, and they both are like depressed. I'm sorry, that was not a good way of putting that. They're both just very like introspective, and they have a very similar like view on the world, I feel like, but also not really. It says, Theodore Finch is fascinated by death. Every day he thinks about ways he might die, but every day he also searches for and manages to find something to keep him here and alive and awake. And then for Violet, it says, Violet Markey lives for the future, counting the days until graduation, when she did escape her small Indiana town and her aching grief in the wake of her sister's death. So they meet on the ledge of the bell tower, which is a little violent, 6 stories above the ground, and they kind of save each other from like, I don't know what, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I remember when I got this at Barnes & Noble, the girl was like, okay, so this book is really sad. A really sad book. I also did watch the movie. I thought the movie was really good. She was like, it's a really sad book, and I hope you don't cry too much. I did cry a lot, but it was a very good book. I think it's cute, and it's well done. And it's like kind of like a basic romance story, but I also think it's like, it's well done, and it's not like, I don't know. For enjoyment, I gave it a 3.5 out of 4. I thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't a solid 4 out of 4. For plot, I gave it a 2.5 out of 3. Again, it was like almost there. It just wasn't like the best plot I've ever read. You know what I mean? Writing, I put 3 out of 3. I thought it was very well done. The total is a 9 out of 10, which is like probably one of the highest ones I have. I think I only have to 9 out of 10. I don't think I have any 10s, just because I'm a little picky, and I think like I read some better books last year, to be honest. Okay, the next books I read were this little duo, One Golden Summer and Every Summer After. So I was watching Jillian Bard, I don't know how to say her last name. I was watching her video, I don't remember which video it was, but she was talking about these books, and she was talking about how she accidentally read this one first, even though it's the second one, and then she read this one after, and she was talking about how she liked this one better than this one, even though this is the second one, and you're supposed to read this one first, but she liked this one better. So I was like, you know what, I'm also gonna read the second one first, because they're not like too intertwined, they're just like, makes more sense if you read this one before you read this one. So I read this one first, and I liked it a lot more, to be honest. So basically, she's like visiting a lake that she went to when she was a child for summer. So she was going back to the lake, and she like saw this yellow boat that she photographed when she was like 16 or something. And she like finds the guy that was on the boat coincidentally, and they like end up like falling in love with each other. I thought this book was really good. She's also like a photographer, and I just think it's really well done. The good vibes are good. Like the vibes are good. Like sometimes there's a summer book and the vibes are good, but the plot isn't. This one I feel like is like both. She had like a bucket list for the summer, which I thought was so cool. She was doing all the things in the summer that she wished she did when she was like a child, when she was too scared. It's kind of the same vibes as the other book that it's Every Summer After that I'm about to talk about, but I think it's just done better, honestly. I gave it a 4 out of 4 on enjoyment, which is pretty good for me. I think that might be the only 4 out of 4 on enjoyment. 2.5 out of 3 on plot, because like again, it is just like kind of a fun summer book, so it's not like a lot of intensity to it, but it was really well done for what it was. And then 2.3 out of words. Again, it was like, it's just a summer book. Like it's not, I mean, not just a summer book, but it's not like a really deep introspective life book. So this one also got a 9 out of 10. And then this one I didn't like as much. I did read it pretty quickly. I read it like the last week actually of 2025, because I wanted to finish my 10 books by the end of the year, because that was my goal. This one is 2 different time periods, so it'll be a chapter of summer in this girl's childhood. This is a different character, Percy's childhood, and then it'll be the current summer. So it's like a weekend, and then it's like 6 years. It's kind of the same thing as The Summer Turned Pretty. It's like she likes this guy, and it's like a couple houses down on the lake or something. Like she likes him as a child, and then they like get together, and then they fall apart, but later they're like rekindling, and then they end up dating. spoil it? I don't really know because it's kind of obvious what ends up happening. Yeah, basically it's just like them in one time period as children, like kind of liking each other, and then it's like the weekend where they're kind of like rekindling. The first book in the series, like technically you're supposed to read this one first because in the second book, which I was just talking about, these people's relationships, it's already like a thing. So I kind of knew what was going to happen. I think it's a little bit repetitive, to be honest. The switching perspectives was kind of like, not switching perspectives, but switching time periods was a little bit confusing, but I thought it was fun. Vibes are good. You know, it just didn't have as good as the plot of the other one. Enjoyment, I gave it a 2.5 out of 4 because it wasn't as fun to read, honestly. Plot, I give it 1.5 out of 3. Words, I give it 2 out of 3. This one got a 6 out of 10, which I feel kind of bad about, but I don't know. I think maybe if I hadn't read the other one, I would like it more, but because I like was comparing it to the other one, I was like, that one was so much better. And then I read The Midnight Library. This book is so good. I really liked it, actually. Basically, okay, this is like the little writing that's at the beginning of the book, and I'm just gonna read it to you because I think it's like a good way of explaining it. Between life and death, there's a library, she said. And within the library, the shelves go on forever. Every book provides a chance to live another life you could have lived, to see how things would be if you had made other choices. Would you have done anything different if you had a chance to undo your regrets? So basically, she dies by sleeping pills. Too many sleeping pills, intentionally. Instead of just dying, she just goes to this library, and every single book is a life she could have lived if she made like one different choice. So it's really interesting. I love how this book was done. I saw this book in Kathy Katie's video, or book video, and like 2 years ago, and I like finally got it and finished reading it. The plot was a little bit repetitive, to be honest, because she just kept reading different books, and it was like kind of the same thing over and over a little bit. I did love the writing though. Like, the writing style was really good. I gave Enjoyment a 3 out of 4. It was also kind of hard to read because it's like really dense and kind of sad. Like I gave it a 3 to 4 just because it wasn't the easiest thing to read. Plot is a 2 out of 3 again. Like it was really good. It's doing the same thing over and over kind of. Or like word choice, 3 out of 3, really good. Give that an 8 out of 10, which feels pretty good for me. I'm kind of going like best to worst. I'm realizing this now. And then I read, this was for school. I read a separate piece by John Knowles. I don't know how to say his last name. This was for school, but I am counting it just because I think it would be interesting to talk about. Basically, it's these two best friends in high school, Finny and Jean, who like, they kind of are in like an unspoken rivalry where they both kind of hate each other. But Jean hates Finny, but there's a lot of mixed emotions going on. Jean's a really bad communicator. It's basically the moral of the story. I think Jean is valid. Like, not valid. Jean is innocent, in my opinion. There's a whole controversy about this, like, cause he, like, spoilers, he, like, jounced the limb of the tree, and then, like, Finny fell off. But I'm like, if Finny wasn't careless and reckless, like, Jean wouldn't even be on the tree with him. I think it's Finny's fault that he died. Jean is innocent and valid, but also, like, he does need to learn how to communicate his emotions. Also, he's just a 16-year-old boy. So the writing was really tense. I'm gonna show you guys my annotation. I didn't intend on annotating this book, and then I annotated like the first 10 pages, and I was like, I just gotta commit. So I annotated every single page of this book, which was quite exhausting and made it take so long to read. Chapters were really long, which just makes it harder for me to read it, because I like having short, digestible chapters. Like, I'd rather read 25-page chapters than like 2 50-page chapters. Was that math? I think so. Enjoyment, I gave it a 2 out of 4. Again, I think that was kind of just because it was for school. Like, I think this book was kind of fun to read when I wasn't thinking about my assignments associated with it. But it was also just kind of repetitive, to be honest. The plot was a 1.5 out of 3. Just because, again, I was like, it's just kind of fine. Like, it's not nothing really interesting going on. I will say when he, like, spoilers again, when he jounced the limb, like when Finny like fell off the tree, and also when he fell down the marble stairs, that was like the end of the book, and that one little part of the book were kind of interesting, but the rest of it was just like, I don't really care. I gave word choice, or like words, a 3 out of 3 because it was well written. I think I'd enjoy this book more if I read it in like a couple years and I wasn't having assignments for it. So it got a 6.5 out of 10, which I still think is pretty good because that's like almost a 7, and I feel like 7 is like average. But I will say that was one of the best books I've ever read for school, because I usually don't like school books. Like, most school books I read would get like a 4, maybe a 3. Speaking of books I don't like, I did not like this book. This is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, and I love the show. Like, I think the show was really well done, really good vibes. This is the first book. I haven't read the other 2 yet. I'm gonna try to do that this year to see if my opinion changes. Everyone was talking about it, and I'm like the books, because I read the books first and then they read the show. I watched the show before I read the books. I need to read the book to see like why people are Team Jeremiah. I just felt like I need to read the book, and I read it, and it was kind of mediocre, to be honest. I think the other 2 will be better. In my opinion, for the show, the first season is like the best summer vibes. Like, it's just a good vibe, which I guess was kind of what this book was. And then the second season was like one of the saddest and the most dense, like emotionally. The third season was kind of just a lot like rage bait. No, but I think the third season was very fun to like watch with your friends and like talk about. Like, I think it was kind of the most interesting in terms of plot. kind of boring in my opinion. The main thing that annoyed me was that she was with Cam Cameron.
A few moments later.
My sister just came in and said, "Are you in a flow state?" And I was like, "I definitely am." So she does not stop talking about Cam Cameron for like 200 pages. Kind of makes me go insane because I'm like, you don't like this guy. She hates him, clearly. She doesn't hate him, but she doesn't like him. And she's just like talking about Conrad while flirting with Cam Cameron. And it's just like, it's a little weird. I mean, I think it's cute, but it's like, I want her to get to Conrad already. I don't care about Cam Cameron. In the show, I was fine with it because it was just like 2 episodes of her being silly with Cam Cameron. In the book, I was like, you need to stop dating this man that you don't like. It was better in the book. It was just kind of dry. I was kind of mad. I was just like, it's fine. It was a vibe. It was fun. Enjoyment 1.5 out of 4. It's quite low for me. I'm usually not that picky. The plot was a 1.5 out of 3 because it wasn't that good. I do like the show. I think the show had a good plot. I just didn't think it was as good in this. The writing was a 1 out of 3. Again, I think her writing is so good. Like, I thought the writing was good. So, like, I liked how it's conveyed in the show. But in the book, I just wasn't a big fan of it. Which, maybe if I read this first, I would like it more. Like, this is no hate towards, like, Jenny Lawn or anything. Like, I thought her book, I think this was great. It just wasn't as good as the show, and I was comparing it to the show. This got a 4 out of 10, which I feel kind of bad about, but it's okay. I will read the 2nd and 3rd book, and maybe that'll be in my 2026 book review if I do another one. And then we have the TikTok book. I don't think it's actually a TikTok book, but it's like, it's just, you know what I mean? We start with If He Had Been With Me. Hear all about this book. There's so many things on Pinterest about this book. There's so much about it. It's kind of mediocre. Like, the plot is kind of just like, okay. Basically, it's the same thing as Summer Turned Pretty and the other book I was talking about. Autumn and Finn used to be inseparable, but then something changed, or they changed. Now they do their best to ignore each other. So basically, they fell apart. And then in high school, they're like not talking to each other anymore. They're both dating other people. They're still in love with each other. It's kind of the same thing as the other book I was talking about. But I thought it was well done. Like, I thought it was fun to read. It's really easily digestible because there's very short chapters. Like, this is the type of book is like my in-bed book where I read like a chapter a night and it only takes me like 2 minutes. It's just like a fun, easy read. So I do think this book is good. Like, I would recommend this book if you want just like a chill book to read that you can finish pretty quickly. I do think a lot of people were like complaining about the writing being dry and like, why is Autumn so dry? Like, why doesn't she talk about, like, why is she so like annoyed all the time and bored all the time? While I was editing this, I just realized that this book is the exact same as We're the Friendship by Taylor Swift. And I thought I'd add that in there. And I think it's because at the end of this book, something low-key dramatic happens. And so I think this book is like her reflecting on the entire thing that happened. So that's why it's kind of dry. It's because she's like, this is how I remember. Like, I don't remember any of this being like what I really wanted for myself, because she's basically dating this man. It's the same thing as Cam Cameron. She hates this man so much. I mean, she doesn't. Says she likes him, but like, Jamie just makes me mad. Just her boyfriend. So that's why I was annoyed a lot of the book. I was just like, stop talking about Jamie. You like Finney. Say Finney, or else something bad's gonna happen. But I do think it was done on purpose. Like, I liked the writing style. Enjoyment, I give it a 3 out of 4. Like, it wasn't that interesting, to be honest. Like, it was good, but it wasn't like crazy. It was really easy to read, and it's really fun to read. Like, I've reread this a couple times just because it's chill. Plot, I give it 2 out of 3 just because it was just fine, you know? Words, I gave it 2 out of 3. Again, like, it was just fine. I give it a 7 out of 10. Love a movie of this though, or a show. It'd be so good. If Only I Had Told Her. So this is the sequel to that book. There's 3 different perspectives, and I think it's really cool that they have different perspectives. I think it makes it a lot more interesting. I kind of wish that the other book had perspective changes because I think it would be a lot cooler. But I also understand that there's like an intentionality behind it. Not enjoyment, I give it 3 out of 4. It's kind of just the same as the other plot. I give it 2 out of 3. Words, I give it 2 out of 3. So this is also just a 7. I think I might like this one a little bit more. Okay, we have 2 more left. Okay, now we have these 2 books. They're both by Sloane Harlow. We have Everything We Never Said and All We Lost Was Everything. First thing I'm gonna say is I do not like the titles of these books. I think it's kind of cool, like The Glass Shattered, but I don't like The Rose. The titles are kind of mediocre for me, to be honest, and I don't like the Love Makes Us Do Bad Things. Like, I feel like she could have found a better way of encapsulating the book in a little line. This one, again, like, I think The Rose is kind of cool, but there's just something about the design that I don't like. And I don't like the title that much. Like, All We Lost Was Everything. I thought it would be the type of title where I'd read the book and I'd understand it, but I honestly didn't. The blue pages are fun on the sides, but I don't like when I'm opening the book and it's blue. You know what I mean? Because they do like bleed into the actual page. I also don't like it says A Love Hotter Than Fire. I'm just like, I don't want to carry that around with me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want someone to be like, what book are you reading? And I'm like, it says A Love Hotter Than Fire on it. It's the type of cover that kind of like cringes me out a little bit. As someone that defends Eldest Daughter by Taylor Swift, and I think that song is amazing. I think the writing is amazing, but I don't like covers like this. Everything We Never Said. This book, basically, her best friend dies in a car accident where she was, I can't say that. There's a lot of depth to the car accident. It's not just like, it's not what River thinks it is. I'm thinking about the wrong book. Oh, so this isn't related to that book. They're just by the same author. So, and then basically she falls in love with her dead best friend's boyfriend. So there's a lot of depth to that. And then she finds her dead best friend's journal, which I think is kind of the coolest part of this book, is like the journal entries. The plot twist was really good. I loved it. It has Haley's journal entries in it, which Haley's the dead best friend. It's better than the other one I'm about to talk about. Enjoyment was 4 to 4. I had a fun time reading it. It was kind of sad because she was like talking about her dead best friends. Plot, 2.5 out of 3. It was pretty good. It wasn't like amazing though. The words I gave 2 out of 3, but for Haley's journal entry specifically, I'd give those like a 3 out of 3 because I love the way she talks, but I did not like when Ella Sawyer were talking. I think those are the names, yeah. So this got an 8.5 out of 10. All we lost was everything. Okay, basically her house burns down. Her dad is dead. Her mom runs away and doesn't talk to her. But she has her best friends. Her guitar burned down. Her songbook burned down. She loves music. She gets anonymously donated $2 million, but she doesn't want to spend it because she's like, I don't know who donated this, and that feels kind of wrong to spend that. And then she's like falls in love with her coworker, who turns out to like have a lot of plot twists about him. Basically, everyone in this book is fake. Like every single character in this book that you think is trustworthy is not. Besides like the cat. That's what's so crazy. Like I thought the other one was crazy. This one's crazy. I read this really quickly. Enjoyment, I gave it a 3 out of 4. It just wasn't as enjoyable as the other one in my opinion, just because I don't like the characters in this one nearly as much. Like I didn't really like any characters in the other one besides Haley, but I don't really like any characters in this one at all. Plot, I gave it 2.5 out of 3, which is I think what I gave the other one. Word choice, I gave a 1.5 out of 3 because I did not like the writing of this one as much. Again, it's not like anything against the author, it's just like my personal enjoyment of the words. So this one got a 7 out of 10, which I think is pretty accurate. I think I might like this one more later because I read this one at the end of 2025 and I read this one at the beginning, so maybe it's like a nostalgic thing. So yeah, those are all the books I read in 2025. Ideally I read more in 2026 because I only got to 10, which was my goal though, so it's fine. So next year I'm gonna try to read 12, maybe 15, I don't know. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I gave you some good book recommendations that you'll go read, or maybe I encouraged you to not read something. Yeah, don't take any of my opinions too seriously. If I was talking about a book that you didn't like, or that you liked and that I was saying I didn't like, or vice versa, feel free to let me know in the comments. Like feel free to like have a conversation, because if I was talking about a book I didn't like and you had a different perspective on it, I would love to know. Ultimately I just want to like every book. Like I just want to, like if there's a book that I was talking about that I misunderstood, like tell me your perspective on it, because I don't want to, if I hurt your feelings, tell me. Not aggressively, just like start a conversation. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you hopefully next week. I will see you next week. Bye bye.